Boa tarde, ouvintes da Brockton FM. Hoje nós estamos com mais uma edição do programa Saúde e Educação, hoje dia 7 de abril de 2021. Nós estamos em pleno pandemia. A pandemia continua a afetar vidas de cidadãos de toda parte do mundo. Estados Unidos cada fica de fora. E, portanto, informação sobre saúde é muito importante e aproveita nesse momento, uma vez que nós é programa Saúde e Educação, bem fala um pouco sobre saúde. Portanto, aí hoje nós ficamos na nossa companhia, nos está ali de cerca de 7 horas com informação sobre saúde. Nossa primeira parte de programa hoje é entrevista com 3 pessoas com maior responsabilidade ali na cidade de Brockton. Já não teve ali na semana outros programas, que é Mayor Robert Sullivan, que é Mayor ali da cidade de Brockton. Não tem também Dr. Herman, que é consultor de pandemia ali na cidade de Brockton. E não também tem daqui a nada Dr. Mondesir, que é oficial executivo de saúde pública ali na cidade de Brockton. Portanto, que ali é que as 3 personalidades com maior responsabilidade sobre saúde pública ali na Brockton e que, portanto, hoje está bem ali diretamente para mim fala com a comunidade cabo-verdiana sobre saúde de população de Brockton, onde que tem uma grande residência de cabo-verdianos. Então, é por isso que nossa primeira parte de conversa, não também daqui a nada, dentro de um minuto, deixa Mayor Robert Sullivan bem fala um pouco sobre aquilo que é informação em respeito à saúde sobre ali na cidade de Brockton. Portanto, a saúde pública não tem já a pandemia continua presente na cidade de Brockton. E Brockton tem sido uma cidade onde que pessoas têm sido afetadas grandemente. Nesse momento, Lídia, não tem um número de 419 mortes na cidade, com população de mais ou menos 100 mil habitantes. Não tem casos ativos 318, na nossa última conversa com o Mayor Robert Sullivan. Razões é várias, e é certamente que a incidência de Covid diminui, mas outra razão também é que pessoas têm diminuído sua presença na fazer testes, por isso, geralmente, isso também diminui a testes, portanto, casos positivos. E casos confirmados até agora, portanto, tudo que foi confirmado já não chega a um valor de 12.894. Não está na fase de vacinação. Vacinação já está na fase 2. Hoje nós também fala com as pessoas que têm uma responsabilidade direta ali na cidade de Brockton para trazendo algumas novidades sobre o processo de vacinação, sobretudo, porque é o que nos espera. E para me dar só um contexto pessoal, me também pessoalmente me perde uma pessoa importante na minha família há menos que uma semana por causa de Covid, que é meu próprio sogro. Portanto, me diretamente, assim como várias outras pessoas da comunidade cabo-verdiana, nos está afetado diretamente para efeito de Covid. Portanto, vacina é o que nos está espera, mas também ajuda nós tudo, toda a população, cabo-verdiana ou não, dentro de Cabo Verde ou não, nos Estados Unidos, portanto, ajudar no resolver o problema de saúde. Então, nós também começamos a nossa conversa com o Mayor Robert Sullivan e essas 2 pessoas que sabem apoiar-se. Bom, enquanto isso, enquanto não te espera justamente com a questão técnica ali, não continua a conversa. Nesse momento ali, portanto, hoje até dia ontem, não foi relatado cerca de 25 casos positivos ali na cidade de Brockton. Não tem casos ativos, como eu falava antes, cerca de 308 casos confirmados, mas que teve nenhum morte. Com relação à vacina, isto é dados que não tem de próprio website da cidade de Brockton. Tem cerca de 12,5% de pessoas já está vacinado, né? Me também é uma pessoa que, por ser uma pessoa que está trabalhando ligada à saúde pública, me também já está vacinado. Acho que é uma atitude que nós tudo deve ter. Que é a mesma coisa que a gente faz para mim, aconselha para pessoas. Portanto, a vacinação é muito importante. E tem também cerca de 12,4% de pessoas que está vacinado completamente. Me é uma das pessoas que está fazendo parte daquele 12,4%. Vacina continua a ser expandido, mais para frente nós tem muito mais possibilidades para outras pessoas. Já não está na fase 2, nunca me entra em detalhes porque Dr. Herman e Dr. Mondesir também falam muito mais em detalhes sobre isso. Portanto, fase 2 inclui até pessoas com 55 anos ou mais. Portanto, aquela informação que nunca passa para membros da nossa comunidade, não te espera que essa informação está ser válido. Tem várias outras coisas que não pode pôr à disposição de nossos ouvintes, números que se pode chamar, lugares que tem vacina. Acho que tem alguns acontecimentos ali na cidade de Brockton e recentemente em Tasperas bem fala disso, sobre vacinação. Portanto, agora nossa concentração é vacinação. Não tem que fazer tudo possível para não vacinar nossos membros de família, para não poder chegar naquele paz de espírito que não precisa. Mas antes de não começar, não te dou um bocadinho de intervalo antes de não entrar com os nossos convidados de hoje. Eu sigo na nossa companhia.
Minha filho, babamã, Jubitão para trazer casa. Novidade chegando, morrer folgado na mão. Minha filho, babamã, Jubitão para trazer casa. Novidade chegando, morrer folgado na mão. Ouvi grito na domingo, na configueira tudo alguém tá junto. Desespero chega na minha quando es flan, minha filho morre. Desta noite em que dormir, a luz já canta me tá chorando. Já está na hora de vai para mar, que tem bom, pamba pisca. Toma boia, sube baixa, pamba pisca peixe na mar. Que tem lancha para levar cachorro, cai na mar, medo de barulho. Grito na de miglo, na configueira tudo alguém te ajuda. Desespero chega na mim, quando es flan, minha filho morrer. Desta noite em que dormir, a luz já canta me tá chorando. Já está na hora de vai para mar, que tempo bamba pisca. Toma boia, sube baixo, bamba pisca peixe na mar. Que lancha para levar cachorro, cai na mar, vedo de barulho. É mar que banha minha bota, é mar que banha minha filha, é mar que banha Michel, na cachorro, praia baixar. É mar que banha minha bota, é mar que banha minha filha, é mar que banha Michel, na cachorro, praia baixar. Deixa de mim flor, não vai pra a casinha. Franque de ti noi, eu nem ia ser. Jogamos esse na Maria da Cruz, pra mar banha minha boca. Cantilhano não tinha, fileme manhanha. Deixa de mim flor, não vai pra a casinha. Franque de ti noi, eu nem ia ser. Tio maritinho na de mim globo, falmar que banha minha boca. É mar que banha minha boca.
Hello, Dr. Herman.
Hello.
I apologize. We had them drop again. So we sent 2 emails to Dr. Mondesir. The first one is going to be to Dr. Mondesir, and the second one is going to be for Mayor. but I just
I just got on. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Can you hear me?
got it.
Yes,
I can hear you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
I apologize.
That's okay.
All right. So, good afternoon, Mr. Mayor Robert Sullivan. Good afternoon, Dr. Herman, pandemic consultant for the city of Brockton. And good afternoon, Dr. Mondesir, the executive health officer for the city of Brockton. Welcome to the program, Brockton FM. It's a program that we usually do in Creole. We will speak in English, but we will translate in Creole after we cut the videos and disseminate information with the listeners. So it's a pleasure to have you here, the high authority in the city of Brockton, to speak about health. So I will start with the mayor to just give us an account of what is the health of the city currently.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cabral. I want to just thank you for what you do, and thank you for the invitation for us to be back. COVID-19, as we all know, has truly changed Brockton. It's created so much uncertainty, so much sadness, so much death. As I sit here today, we have lost 419 Brockton residents to this deadly virus. Current active cases right now is 350 cases. We're at 12,942 cases overall since the state started calculating. We had been in a yellow classification for 4 weeks. We trended back up in the wrong direction to a red. Not unique to Brockton, happening throughout the Commonwealth, but reported today 48 new cases. So it's still, wearing the masks, social distance. If you are eligible and qualified to get a vaccine, I would strongly urge you to do that. We know it saves lives. Dr. Herman and Dr. Mondesir can talk more on that context. I'll be rolling up my sleeve to get my shot on April 19th when I qualify. But, the city of Brockton has truly been forever changed by COVID-19. But, if we work together, we get the message out, we educate, we continue to inform the public, we'll get through this, but we're only going to get through it together.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's a lot of work. So almost a year, or more than a year already into this pandemic. So a lot of things, not only death, but a lot of the things, mental health and economy and so forth. I myself lost my father-in-law in less than a week due to COVID. So it's devastating to many families. I am now directly being affected by it. So more than anyone else, I wish that everybody gets vaccinated, because this is my hope that we will move beyond this. I can start with Dr. Herman to give us a little bit about, as a consultant for the pandemic, some details, either continuing the status of the health of the city, or some of the approaches that we have to address the vaccination that seems to be the high point right now.
Sure. First of all, let me say boa tarde to everybody, and thank you for inviting me. As Mayor said, the pandemic continues in Brockton. We started to see a little bit of clearing of the cases. The cases were going down a few weeks ago, but now they started to go back up again. And I think one of the concerns I have is that there's been a lot of happiness about the new vaccines that are coming out, and I think that has led people to believe that things are getting better and that the disease is going away. But that's not the case. In fact, there's still lots of COVID out there. There are lots of people that are still infected. In fact, the disease is spreading more rapidly. It's a little bit different now than it was last spring, because younger people now are getting the disease instead of so many older people. But the problem is that there are these new variants, a kind of change in the virus that's spreading more quickly and causing more severe illness. And so that's spreading very rapidly throughout Brockton, and we have to not let our guard down. It's very important to keep practicing all the things that you've been advised to do, which is keep your distance from other people, avoid large crowds indoors, don't mingle with other families that have not been vaccinated, and really continue to do all of those safety measures to try and stop the disease from spreading. Right now, our focus is on getting people vaccinated. And, we can talk a little bit about why folks don't want to be vaccinated. But right now, the city of Brockton is so fortunate because we have lots of vaccine available through a cooperative effort with the mayor's office and neighborhood health center. We're running a clinic every day at the Shaw Center. In addition, the Board of Health runs smaller clinics throughout the week, really trying to get that vaccine into people that have not yet been vaccinated. This is the way that we're going to stop the spread of the pandemic.
I'm so happy that Brockton has enough vaccine for who wants to take it. I know that one of the concerns, one of the issues that I always bring into our conversation is the fact that Brockton has a great number of populations that has barriers, language, sometimes cultural, and other factors. And that makes Brockton very special. So one of the concerns that we always have is what are some of the approaches to reach out to those communities. And that's one reason why I thank you so much for coming to this Brockton, because we speak in Creole. One of the things that we do, we go back the next session and put you on the air, but then translate so people get the information in their own languages. So what are some of the approaches that you continue to do to reach out? I'm thinking of, so the connections, the places where people need to go. Do they have somebody that speaks their language when they call?
Yes, I can address that. So, and I can let Eno and Rick as well. But Brockton is a diverse community, and we have to cater to all aspects. Cape Verdean and Haitian and Angola and Nigerian and Latin communities and Irish and Jewish, and that's what we need to do. So we are doing that. Dr. Eno Mondesir, who is also a pastor and a Haitian individual, he is really helping Dr. Herman and I reach into the pastors community. The Cape Verdean Association and Father Michael at the Tri-Parish has been working with Dr. Mondesir. We have multiple language speakers, linguists, that are helping coordinate the scheduling. The city of Brockton has created a health equity task force through my office, and we're reaching out to all those aspects, the Latin community, Latin Women's Association, and Haitian community partners. But the biggest really game changer right now is that because we've been designated in one of the 20 communities, and we have disproportionately been so damaged by COVID, DPH has assigned a liaison to our city. Andy Robinson is his name. And we now have, Mr. Cabral, the ability to leverage DPH and all the aspects in multiple languages as well. So, Dr. Mondesir, I know you have some other information on that you could share. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, Mr. Cabral. And we also say hello to the great audience that is listening to this program this evening. One of the things that I could highlight is the importance of their smaller clinics. Now, the Shaw Center serves as a mega center, if I may call it that, where significant number of people can come and get the shots, hundreds of people. But you have people who are not coming there. So therefore, the smaller clinics that the Board of Health organizes takes the vaccines to where the people live, to where the people work. And that's the reason why last Friday, we had a clinic at the Westgate Mall. This week, we're doing clinics throughout the community, the low-rises. And on Friday, we're having a clinic at a church right here in just a walking distance from City Hall. And we continue to have those conversations with different groups so that we can find how to best serve them. And I think they seem to be working. And it seems that the barriers are coming down, I would say slowly, but successfully. for people to say, okay, well, now I am willing. And so we also have two significant dates this month. This past Monday, which was April 5th, individuals 65 years old and older became eligible. On April 19, people who are 16 and older will be eligible. In other words, the general public will become available. And so therefore, working together with the state, with communities within the municipality, in order to be able to make sure that we can find where the people are and put the vaccines into their arms.
Thank you. That's great. That's a great news. Now, can people walk in to those places that are available?
So I'll just say that usually for the smaller clinics, and Dr. Mondesir can correct me if I'm wrong, for the smaller clinics, we like to have people sign up ahead of time. And the reason that's important is because we need to know how much vaccine is available. We need to know how many doses to bring with us. They have to be stored in a certain way, and so they have to be transported in a certain way. And so we need to know how many vaccines are going to be available for the clinic. This weekend, and hopefully this broadcast will reach people, this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be having a large clinic on both Saturday and Sunday at the Shaw Center. We encourage people to call ahead of time and register, but if people do show up and they haven't registered ahead of time, they will get a vaccine. So people can come to the Shaw Center on Saturday or Sunday between 9 o'clock and 5 p.m. on Saturday and before 3 p.m. on Sunday. And if they do show up, they will get a vaccine. And just to clarify, the vaccine is now available to anyone who is age 55 and older, or who has one medical condition, or is in any of the previous groups that were already open to vaccine, like first responders and frontline workers, and so many of the people now are eligible to receive a vaccine. But we do have a lot of help from the state. They are providing us with a lot of support services to make sure that we go out and try and reach people who are reluctant to get the vaccine. And as you know, there's lots of people that are a little bit scared to get the vaccine. And we want to try and be able to address those concerns and address those fears that people have, to let them know that the vaccine is safe, it's effective, it prevents people from getting sick, it prevents people from dying, prevents people from getting put on a ventilator and in the intensive care unit. It really, really works. And it does not have bad side effects, long-term side effects. It does not give you COVID. And so it's really important to get the shot. And even more importantly, now more than 100 million Americans have gotten the shot without any significant serious problems. This in and of itself should prove how safe the vaccine really is.
Yes, I'm excited with the progress, with the way how things are moving. I understand the challenges with some people that sometimes might not feel so confident to take the vaccine. What I wanted to ask is, for those numbers that will be available for people to pre-register, will there be somebody that speaks those several languages that exists in Brockton?
Yes, Mr. Cabral. So we have set that up through my office. Again, I just want people to understand that the city clinic, led by the Board of Health, Dr. Herman is the consultant, but Board of Health with the nurses from the Board of Health, but also our school nurses are helping us. Okay. So if anybody wants to pre-register, we have on the city website, which is brockton.ma.us, 508-580-7123. 508-580-7123 is the mayor's office. Again, in my office, I have a really great diverse team. Someone speaks Haitian Creole, Cape Verdean Creole, Spanish, and English. But we also are using other people that speak different languages to help register, Mr. Cabral.
Fantastic, fantastic. We always have that concern because we know a lot of the people that might even want to take vaccine, but then the challenge of the language makes people fear not to call in or to try to get the vaccine. So I'm glad. So we're going to try to put the number up on the screen for anybody who is listening to us to be able to take notes if they want to. We will repeat this program, as I said, trying to translate in Creole. So a number again, the 508-580-7811. John, if you can put that up while we speak. That's very important. So I'm so glad we have the Shaw Center. I'm going to repeat this Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 5. People can pre-register, but if they want to walk in, they still can be vaccinated. The people that can qualify right now can be from 55 and up, or if they have one or more health conditions. So that can, encompass a lot of people. Thank you. And then also after April 19, then there will be access to everybody. Isn't that fantastic?
Can't wait.
So I hope that we have enough vaccine. What about that? Do we know?
So yes, what's really great about the collaboration with Neighborhood Health Center is that President Biden, Joe Biden, designated Brockton Neighborhood Health Center to be a federal recipient of vaccines. So they're getting a federal thousands of vaccines for Neighborhood Health Center. And our Board of Health, led by Dr. Mondesi, we're getting our state allotment. This weekend, Saturday is J&J, Johnson & Johnson. That's the one shot and you're done. And then Sunday is Pfizer. So we are always looking to get the most vaccines. But DPH determines weekly how much of this quantity is being administered, how many shots are going in the arm. So again, we encourage everybody that is able and eligible, please consider it, and we'll provide that service.
Very good. One of the, I know, Dr. Herman, I know you spoke about you understand some of the reasons why. Do you want to break down? I mean, for the people that are listening, if what would be some of the reasons? Do they make sense? I know you spoke about that. Can you break it down a little bit? I know when I look, just an example, I look at the statistics. I saw the percentage of the Black community and the percentage of white community, a big difference in terms of the people that go to take the vaccine. I know that there is a huge effort as well to encourage people to continue to go. What are some of the things that, more than what you just said, if there is any more?
Sure. Well, yes, there is a disparity in race, just in terms of the illness itself. Blacks have been affected far more severely than whites, and they are, at least initially, were seeking out the vaccine less than whites, although that is changing. So another group, by the way, that we haven't talked about that is not getting the vaccine is men. Women are getting the vaccine far more often than men, and this is a problem, I think, just not with getting the vaccine, but with healthcare in general. Men are reluctant to seek care for their blood pressure, for their cholesterol, for all of their health needs, and women are far more likely. And working in the emergency room, I can tell you that women are more likely to seek care in the emergency room when their problems start. Men are more likely to wait until it's too late to come in and get treated. But as far as why people don't want to take the vaccine, first of all, a lot of people are concerned that the vaccine can actually give you COVID. They're worried that if they get the shot, it's going to make them sick with the infection. That is not possible. Even though there is some genetic material in the vaccine, the virus is not in the vaccine. The vaccine cannot infect you. It cannot cause you to have the disease. Any side effects that you do get, if you do get side effects, are very, very short and usually very mild. People are concerned because the vaccine was developed so quickly, and they felt like maybe it was rushed and they cut corners, and maybe there's something wrong with it. How could it possibly be developed so quickly?
Yes.
And the answer is yes, it was. It was developed quickly, But the important parts of the vaccine development, which is the safety profile, no corners were cut. In other words, they still had to wait the mandatory 2 months to make sure that everything was safe. And even though we feel like it was developed quickly, these types of vaccines have been in the works for the last 10 years. So even though this particular vaccine was made very, very quickly, the kind of vaccine that is manufactured, like these RNA vaccines, have been around for 10 years and have been proven to be very, very safe. People are worried about the vaccine changing their DNA or changing their genes. That's just not possible. The genetic material doesn't get into the inside of the cell, into the nucleus. It can't change your DNA. It can't change the way the cells are made. People may have a concern that it affects fertility. There was some internet rumor that the vaccine would affect your ability to get pregnant and have babies. That's absolutely untrue. There's no scientific evidence that shows that whatsoever. So a lot of, and obviously people are concerned about the side effects and the safety. And
Yes.
we know now that from the original trials of these vaccines that are now 6 months out, no significant serious side effects with any of the vaccines that are currently in use in the United States. So I know, people are reluctant and concerned, and I can appreciate that. But at this point, the safety has really been demonstrated to be excellent, and and even more importantly, we're seeing such great effects. We're watching the amount of disease in old people drop down because the older population was the first to get vaccinated, and now that population is not getting as sick as they were a year ago. So the vaccine is really, really working.
Fantastic. That's wonderful to hear this news. Very good, very good. Thank you so much. Now, if we can elaborate a little bit more about the strategy moving forward. Before we go there, I'm going to ask this. In terms of diversity, barriers, and equity, and speaking about Brockton, one of the things that I've always spoke about and talked with some people is sometimes communities like Asian community, Cape Verdean community, Spanish community, becomes a little bit behind in terms of information that is out there, sometimes important, just like in this case. So what is, since now, this question goes to the mayor, since now the mayor is discussing the budget for the coming year, the coming semester, is there any plan that information equity, if we want to call it that, be included in the budget so that medias like this one, they're small, they're diverse, they're not known, but they are main source of information to the community that does not speak English? Is that something that you consider, Mr. Mayor? Hello?
Looks like the mayor is frozen.
It sounds like he couldn't hear. Because we know, and I appreciate so much that you guys are taking the time. I know you're all so busy, and taking your time to come here and speak with the community is such something that we should be thankful for. But I know that you're not available all the time, and there might be need for more information to come on a continuous basis. So we feel it's fair that the city, supports those channels that is so vital, so important to sharing, to spreading information to the community.
Well, I obviously I can't speak to the budget for the mayor.
Yes, sir.
But I can, having been involved with addressing the pandemic for the past 6 or 9 months.
Sure.
Now, I can tell you that
Yes.
the mayor's office has had a really intense focus on equity populations. We understand that there are areas of the community that are going to be more difficult to reach, either
Absolutely.
because of language barriers, immigration issues and legal concerns, people who have not had their healthcare needs addressed, and so we really are making an effort to try and locate those communities. And right now, even more so, with this initiative that the state has identified Brockton as one of 20 areas of concern in the state, and has assigned us resources through the Department of Public Health to specifically reach out. Now, I can tell you that for the past 6 months, Dr. Mondesir, the mayor, and I have been talking with the pastors every week. We've met with members of the Cape Verdean community, with the Haitian community, tried to reach out to members of the community who we feel are at risk because they don't have access to all of the information that English-speaking populations might have. So we're making the effort, and I know the mayor has made that a priority through his health equity task force, and now has a specific health equity vaccine task force through the office to try and address some of these populations that might be more difficult to reach.
No, I appreciate so much this effort, because it's really needed, and it makes the difference between, sometimes in this case, life and death. In the beginning, when the pandemic just started, we invited the mayor, who responded promptly to come and speak with the population and calm some of the people, because not a lot of information was available. So it was new, people were in panic. So when the mayor came and spoke, we spread those news to the community, so people were able to calm down and be assured that the information that is coming, it's coming from the right source. So we would love to continue to have you. I'm not asking you to come all the time, because I know you are so busy, but at least to allow to have a channel of communication to be able to increase the trust of the population, because there is so much information out there and not all of them are good. All right,
Sure.
so we have...
I'm happy to come back anytime you invite me, anytime.
Very good. So, and we have the mayor. I still gonna insist on the question of the budget. Maybe mayor is not available. We are probably having technical issues as well. But anyway, it sounds that's something that we would like to see happen. We know that the mainstream media is what is most consumed, but unfortunately for populations like us, the Asian community, Dr. Mondesir may know about that. They tend to consume information that comes within that specific community. So using the church is a very good approach. Using radio stations like us, which is local, is very good approach, because people get connected with that. So I don't know if there is anything that you guys want to elaborate about the vaccine. Vaccine seems to be the high point. I would like to have as much information to our listeners. And as I said, I will translate in the next session.
Well, I just would like to add that I find the city is very receptive to the municipality, and they have demonstrated their collaborative in 3 different ways. Human resources, financial resources, and other resources, material resources, vaccines, because they make it more available, readily available to us. So at one point we were wondering, okay, are we having any vaccine? Are we having enough? But we would say from this trajectory that we are involved in, I can tell you that I have seen a significant increase in the number of vaccines that we have per week, and then we have the additional human resources that they put at our disposal, including finances. So that's a great collaboration to have, and it takes us a long way to be able to address the needs, the disparity also in the city.
Yes, I'm glad you put it this way. It's true. the disparity, the health disparity that exists is not new. But we feel that for the city of Brockton to achieve the goals that they establish, you need to address those particular needs in the way that they need it. So language is one of them. Access in terms of information, so using those channels and so forth. So that comes with a cost for the people that put together. Not for me. I volunteer on this, but I know that the people that put me on the air, they have costs. So for us to be able to do this, sometimes if there is collaboration, that will be much appreciated. Very good. Is there anything that you want to add before we close? I just wanted us to focus only on the health of the city. The vaccine is a big thing. We want people to be encouraged to go. We'll continue to talk about this. Is there anything that we can add in terms of the vaccine coming? I know Shaw Center on the 10th and the 11th should be a great goal. We'll continue to put some advertisements. Then yet the question is, sometimes this kind of things works best if there is an advertisement done on the radio all day, every day, for example. That sometimes get people's attention, they get the number, they get the place, people talk with each other, they vent and they feel comfortable. You might see people showing up more often at the places where the vaccines are. Is there any plan, Dr. Mondesir, to do this approach?
Well, I have to say, I think there is the idea or the possibility. Now, I know it's not always feasible to contract with the radio stations, the media, because politically it raises some questions, sometimes some ethical issues. And if you take one, how do you select one over the other? So there are those nuances, and I'm glad I'm not the mayor, but I'm working with them, and I want to do the best I can also to see how we can remove the barriers. So I know you didn't get the mayor to be able to connect and elaborate a little bit on the budget, but I know next week it's my term with him and the city councilors. So we'll continue to work and talk about how to best move forward to bring in more new partners and on a more steady ground.
Yes, it will be much appreciated. I think not only for the health, it seems that the pandemic is the issue at hand, but even in the future, and I'm thinking in terms of information that families need about education of their kids. There is an announcement, there are things that is happening, and one of the factors, now not trying to jump too much, but just the parents being too busy at work, not being able to read the information in English, and not having any channel to receive information, that makes the parents so disconnected with the school and to respond to even what the school needs them to do to cooperate to the success of their students. And then the result of that is, all the consequences that we know. Kids dropping out, education is not the priority, and complete disconnection. So what we realize, me being a teacher, former teacher, and working with families every day, I know that that's one of the major issues that we deal with all the families that we work with. So then my question will be, okay, so I know that there is a lot small private initiative in terms of trying to reach out in a mature style, but if the city comes and bring those tools together and make them function, using them as a channel to spread the information that they want for their families, I can guarantee that the school, the education, the health, any information that the city wants to put out will be more accessible to those families than otherwise. All right. So,
yes, I believe so.
Yes. So very good. We have now 7 minutes to the end of this program. If you have any specific message to send to the community, again, I appreciate so much you guys taking the time and coming to speak with me. I can start with Dr. Herman if you have any message that you want to leave.
Well, I can appreciate that there is a need for a targeted approach to certain populations in Brockton that don't get their information through the mainstream. And with regard to this particular initiative of trying to get folks vaccinated, the Department of Public Health, the State Department of Public Health, has given us some additional resources so that we're partnering with the organization called Healthcare for All, who is coming to Brockton and trying to reach out to especially non-English speaking populations to try and provide education, address concerns, and encourage folks to get vaccinated. So that is a initiative that through the mayor's office and partnering with the Department of Public Health, we're really trying to activate and make happen. Especially, our first measure of success will be to see how we do this weekend with the vaccination clinics and see how many folks we can get who otherwise might not have signed up or come to the Shaw Center to get a vaccine. The take-home message I would have is two things. One, please be careful. COVID is still out there. The number of cases is actually going up in Brockton. It's not going down. The percent of cases that we're testing that are positive is going up. It's not going down. And so people need to be aware of the fact that the virus is still out there. And then the next message is get a vaccine. As soon as you are eligible, and within a few weeks, everybody over the age of 16 is going to be eligible. If you want to get a vaccine, but your parents don't, well, encourage them, teach them why it's important. It's not just going to protect you. It's going to protect your families. It's going to protect the entire community. And in fact, there may be situations where you may need to have a vaccine in order to engage in certain activities. But I think the most important thing is that we are all in this together. If one person is sick in the community, we're all sick in the community. And so we need to get healthy as a community. And so everyone has a personal responsibility to their community. So if you are happy in the city of Brockton, if you appreciate its ethnic diversity, and if you appreciate the city that you live in, well, make it healthy by going out and getting a vaccine. That's how you help the health of the community. So that's my message: is please roll up your sleeve and get a vaccine.
Thank you, Dr. Herman. Dr. Mondesir, what's your message to the community?
Well, I have three small ones. The first one, I'll start with you. I want to really congratulate you for the work that you do, because there are people that we would not otherwise reach, but because of your work, we reach them. So thank you very much. Secondly, I want to echo that with our partnership with the state, we will be able to offer some mobile clinics as well. Mobile clinic is one where we take a bus into the community and set up a clinic. And so we do have that resource available to us through the state. We can do that. And also, I should say that there is a number that people can also call, because there may be people throughout the community, including the Caribbean community, that are homebound. So the state has a program, and there's a phone number I can also leave with you, making it more accessible to other people. It's 844-771-1628. I'll repeat. It's 844-771-1628. 771-1628. This is a number that when people who cannot leave their home because of health challenges, disability, they can call that number. It's a statewide number. It's not just for Brockton. They can call and then they will follow, they will do a brief survey or questionnaire with them to establish their eligibility, and then they will bring the vaccine up to their home. Lastly, I don't know how many people who have religious conviction listening to this program. Let me say that I too, I pray a lot. And I believe that half of what I feed on, I do eat bread. I love bread a lot. I eat not white flour though. I eat wheat bread quite a bit, but I pray a lot also. So which means I believe in science. I believe also in faith. And so faith alone cannot really help us to overcome this pandemic. And so therefore, we have to be wise enough to know that prayer works, faith works, but we have to support them with other things. Because when we wake up in the morning, we don't spend the whole time praying, but we find food to eat. We open the fridge to find whatever there may be in there to eat. And so if we can do that, then it also means that if we sick, if we face a pandemic, then maybe we need a little bit more than just prayer and faith. So I'm encouraging everyone listening to this to use every resource that we have at our disposal.
Absolutely. And I thank you so much again for taking the time. It's my pleasure to be with you, and I hope in the future we will have other opportunities to provide this kind of information. I'm going to let you go now. I know you are busy people. Thank you very much again, and I look forward to have another meeting with you soon.
Can I send you the bill?
Yes, you can. And then I'll call you on the phone to say, you remember, you owe me something. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yes. Assim, ouvintes, já nos está na fim do nosso programa de hoje. Portanto, um programa de uma conversa muito ameno. Nunca teve tradução. Para modo de, pronto, se calhar isso está perdendo o fluxo de conversa, mas não te promete trazer com os certos de algum daqueles vídeos ali, para não continuar a conversa agora com os ouvintes na crioulo, para não passar aquela informação de 3 personalidades mais importantes em relação à saúde na cidade de Brockton. Uma que é mayor, aquele outro que é diretor oficial na cidade de Brockton de saúde, executivo de saúde, aquele outro pandemic consultant, que é 2 médicos com máxima responsabilidade sobre saúde pública ali nos Estados Unidos, ali na cidade de Brockton. Portanto, é assim, não queria fazer questão de trazer informação de fonte segura. Nosso filho já volta para a escola e não sabe, mas pronto, indo para a escola, risco te aumenta. E com precaução, de que as coisas que se faz questão de deixar nos saber que precaução tem que continuar a existir, não tem que continuar a fazer tudo que as coisas que foi indicado para a CDC antes para fazer. Lava a mão, manter distância de 6 pés. Brockton esteve na vermelho por muito tempo, inclusive teve também momento de emergência, estado de emergência, que foi levantado há pouco tempo. Então Brockton passa para categoria de amarelo, estava na sinal vermelho, mas a partir de que passa de amarelo por algum tempo, volta para a categoria de vermelho. Nesse momento ali, Brockton está na categoria de vermelho. Isso significa que, em vez de coisas continuam a descer, não volta para um bocadinho mais complicado. Então isso é um problema porque pessoas continuam a morrer. Compartilha com os ouvintes ali de que me também, dentro de menos que uma semana, perde um membro de família, meu sogro. Portanto, isso significa que Covid continua a ceifar vidas, continua a fazer tudo aquilo que nunca crê para acontecer. Portanto, não espera que ouvintes que sigam conosco, Preste atenção na informação, embora em inglês para as pessoas que escutam inglês, mas que as pessoas que falam só crioulo, nós também fazemos um novo programa especial precisamente para bem disseminar tudo que é informação na crioulo e também nos deixa aqui esse contato. E assim, nós marca nosso encontro para o próximo encontro e nós desejamos continuação de uma boa noite. Até o próximo programa.
Learn not to fail to avoid full pain. Learn not to care to avoid being tamed. Unloved, uncared for. How do I know for sure I am hostile? Fragile future. Think the world is dangerous. Survival. You can blame it on my skin. You can blame it on my skin. You can blame it on my looks. You can blame it on my looks. You can blame it on my